You may be seated. Good morning. And welcome to this first celebration of December graduates within the School of Architecture, Planning, and Preservation. My name is Dawn Jordan, and I'm Dean of the school, and I'm your host this morning. I'm so pleased to be with you today. This is actually our first live December graduation since I came, so it's great to be here. There are masks available for anybody who feels the desire to cover their face today. It is our custom at the University of Maryland to begin our gatherings and celebrations with the reading of the land acknowledgement. This statement is meant to help situate us. Every community owes its existence and strength to the generations before them around the world who contributed their hopes, dreams, and energy into making the history that led to this moment. Truth and acknowledgement are critical in building mutual respect and connections across all barriers of heritage and difference. So we acknowledge the truth that is often buried. We are on the ancestral lands of the Piscataway people, who are the ancestral stewards of this sacred land. It is their historical responsibility to advocate for the four-legged, the winged, and those who crawl and those that swim. They remind us that clean air and pristine waterways are essential to all life. This land acknowledgement is a vocal reminder of our intergenerational commitment to each other and the viability of the planet. This sentiment is expressed in acknowledgement. It is at the core of who we are as Maryland School of the Built Environment. Graduates, today is the first of at least 2 occasions that we hope to celebrate your accomplishments. You deserve to be celebrated as many times as we can, based on the extraordinary efforts you put in to accomplish these degrees. I'd like to begin with a few introductions of the associate deans and program directors that help create the student experience here at Maryland. Professor Lindsay May, Associate Dean of Student Services. Yes, absolutely. Dr. Mohammed Garapour, Director of the Architecture Program. Dr. Hiro Iseki, Director of the PhD Program. Professor Maria Day Marshall, Director of the Real Estate Development Program. Dr. Dawn Linebaugh, Interim Director of the Historic Preservation Program and the former Dean of the school. Dr. Garrett Knapp, Associate Dean for Research and the Executive Director of the National Center for Smart Growth. Dr. Clara Arazabal, Director of the Urban Studies and Planning Program. Kristen Stack, Director of Student Services. And Ingrid Farrell, Assistant Dean of Internal Affairs and Budget for the school. Without these people, it couldn't happen. But they're not alone in the people that make the days goes smoothly. It gives me great pleasure to introduce you to the faculty who have guided our graduates from their first day at Maryland to this event today. These faculty have counseled, challenged, questioned, encouraged, and cheered your student through their academic journey with thoughtfulness and care. I'd like to invite the faculty to stand up and be recognized, please. None of us could do this without the excellent and important staff that help us run this school. They are a compassionate team that supports us every day with grace and humility, and I'm eternally grateful for them. Now, many of them are already standing, so if you're not standing, please stand, and if you are standing, please wave to be acknowledged. Right, graduates, I know that many other people have supported you along the ways. These include your families, your friends, your high school and community college teachers, your classmates. Some of them are here with us today. I'd like you to recognize them. So if you'd like to stand and recognize those who come to support you today, I'd welcome you to. Graduates, let's recognize those supporters of yours. Thank you very much. There's going to be a lot of standing up and sitting down today. We need our exercise right before all of the holiday cookies. So let's do this the right way. Let's begin with a formal recognition of our graduates. Will the master's degree students please stand and be recognized? Congratulations. You can be seated. I'd also like to invite the Bachelor of Arts and the Bachelor of Science graduates to stand and be recognized. Thank you. Congratulations to you all. This wasn't an easy journey. It never is, but you had some extra special opportunities to deal with obstacles over the course of the last few years. We want to recognize the strength and perseverance that you brought with us. I've also been asked to call out a few special names to recognize students for their excellent work in real estate development and architecture. When I read your name, please stand to be recognized for the special achievement you've been awarded. The Real Estate Development Program gives capstone awards in recognition of a juried competition that takes place during the student's final semester. The 2022 fall capstone winners are Natasha Jameson Randolph, William Christian III, Dominic Perez, Candace Swindell. Candace, are you with us today? This program also recognizes Ron Batzer with the MRED Outstanding Academic Achievement Award. Congratulations. And Bethlehem Wolde with the MRED Outstanding Academic Achievement Award. And also Candace Swindell, who has received this award. So congratulations to our colleagues in real estate. And then the architecture program awards the director's award to an outstanding student who has made an impact on the program through their leadership and their scholarship. This semester, this award is being given to Almas Heather. The architecture program awards the Thesis Pride Award to honor students who reach the highest standards of scholarship, design, and professionalism through the development, presentation, and defense of a thesis. This semester's recipient is Talisha Jennings. hope what you're feeling right now is what I'm feeling. This incredible swell of pride that maybe you haven't felt for a while because you haven't been in a room where people were cheering, unless you watch soccer. And then you were in lots of rooms where people were cheering. But it is great to be here to cheer for you and cheer you on today. My pleasure to introduce you to a keynote speaker today, Professor David Cronrath. Professor David Cronrath has been a practicing architect and educator for 30 years. Until recently, he served as Associate Provost for Facilities and Special Projects. Before joining the Provost office, he was the Dean of this school. Prior to joining the University of Maryland, he was the Dean of the College of Art and Design at Louisiana State University. While serving as Dean, he was recognized as an Outstanding Architectural Educator of the Year in 2009, and in 2016 was awarded the Paul H. E. Medal by the AIA Potomac Valley Chapter for increasing the public's awareness of the role of architecture in their lives. A native of the Philadelphia region, David was the principal at Friday Architects and Planners. Please join me in welcoming Professor Cronrath.
Thank you. Thank you, Dawn. I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate the fact that you found a way for us to mark this ritual and celebrate these students and their passage from school to career. It's really an important thing that we do. It's my honor to be here and share with you this precious time in the portal between school and career. These rituals are most important in our life, for it is through ritual that we establish meaning and mark significance. You may not know, but I too have entered a portal of sorts as I establish new patterns of activity in the world after career and move on to my retirement. I am only beginning to learn that retirement might be best described as career 2.0. Because what I'm finding out is that you have to work to move into retirement and to find the comparable joy that you had in one's career. There's another way that I'm connected with all you graduates today, and that is like a third of the students in the School of Architecture, Planning, and Preservation and Real Estate Development. I too am the first graduate of college from my family. I was so fortunate to reap the benefits of my parents' sacrifice so I could attend college. In so many ways, I am so fortunate to be standing before you today. 6 years ago, I was told that I would only have 3 more years to live. And so I'm really quite thankful to be here and to share this moment with you. Now, by the best of my accounting, this is my 126th graduation exercise. That's about That's about 216 hours of my life I will never get back. But honestly, few things have given me more pride than seeing you, our students, receive this recognition which you have so richly earned. 216 hours commencement also means I know a little bit about these speeches and what they're supposed to accomplish. Well, maybe that's a little presumptuous. What I do know is how short I often wish they were. So let's hope I get the timing right today and we move quickly on to your individual recognition and the party in the great space. I'm not sure I have very much far-reaching wisdom can share about life. I have given some thought to my personal success and fulfillment and what principles I might tease out of my experiences that I could properly share with you today. After going through several bags of Oreos, hundreds of Twizzlers, and some containers of potato chips, these are all my favorite health foods, I have arrived at 3 Greco-Roman gods that I'd like to talk to you about today: Minerva, Morpheus, and Fortuna. Now, with those words, those Greco-Roman gods, graduates, I want to tell you a little bit of a secret. Right now, the faculty are saying, son of a, he's really going to talk for 3 hours. And the dean's thinking, why did I ask this guy to speak? So starting with Minerva, Morpheus, and Fortuna is just an academic way of saying what I hope to talk about today is curiosity, dreams, and creating rewarding opportunities. So let's begin with curiosity. One of my major professors at the University of California, Berkeley, Horst Riddle, said that if we're successful as teachers, we move all students through 4 phases of their educational experience. The first phase, whether you're an architect, planner, real estate developer, or preservationist, is that you start your project and you think, I know nothing about this. I will never master these skills. That's quickly followed by a second phase of development, which is, wow, I can do this. I bet you I could design a whole country, or I could design chairs, vacuum cleaners, anything. That's followed by a third phase, which is, oh, what I'm doing is going to impact real people? I don't think I know enough to do something well. And that leads to a kind of paralysis. And that's when the faculty are most important, because they shepherd you through that paralysis into action. And you arrive at the 4th phase, which is, I don't have enough information to actually do this, but I'm going to do the best I can and work as hard as I can to achieve success. I hope we were successful and that you reached stage 4 of your educational growth and now realize your obligations, which is that in all your endeavors, you never have a right to be wrong. And as a consequence, you realize the importance of requiring more information and turning that into knowledge upon which you can take action. You have a deep and thorough appreciation that all problems emerge because of the discrepancy between what is and what ought to be. That with the application of knowledge, learn from both books and from your community of clients, you can find success. And that brings me to dreams. Dreams can shape a life. I can think of no better example of a person who was able to shape their life because of a dream than my own father. You see, my father was a product of the Great Depression. And upon completing 3rd grade, his mother, who was a single parent, could no longer take care of all her children. And so she was forced to give my father and his youngest brother to a family in the next valley to work on a farm for room and board. My father never saw his mother again until he lied about his age in order to enlist in World War II and fight in Europe. When I was a kid, I used to have this opportunity to be with my father in the summer, who at at that time was delivering bread door to door. And at the completion of the day, we would go back to the factory and he would have this huge column of numbers. And I was always amazed at how he could just run his pencil down the numbers and arrive at the right answer. It astounded me. And later in life, when I was decided as a Boy Scout that I would pursue the God and Country Award and work with the minister of our church, my father was intimately more interested in that award than I was. He wanted to interact with our minister, who was a PhD and probably the smartest person in our community. At the end of his life, my father achieved his dream, and he was accepted into college at age 72. Now, that's how my father's trajectory was aimed, but I actually think he had another dream that he never shared with me. And that was the dream that his family, his children, and his wife would be taken care of, so that we would never suffer the indignities and challenges that he suffered as a child. So I say to you, as you think about your dreams, I would think you want to ask the same questions that I think my father asked of himself. What impact will my dream make? What form will the impact take? And how widespread and in what dimensions will my dream make itself manifest? For my father answered these questions with a desire to unlock the gates of knowledge. He saw in this dream a chance to create opportunity and good fortune for others, and after they were taken care of, for himself. And that leads me to the third and last Greco-Roman god, Fortuna, or how do we cultivate rewarding opportunity? I graduated in a recession. I was very, very fortunate to have two job opportunities when I graduated. One was for a firm that did housing, something that I knew quite a bit about. I knew how to detail houses, and I knew a few people who worked in the firm, so I felt very comfortable that this would be an easy place to work, that I could quickly feel myself at home and do the work that was required. There was another firm who gave me an offer, and that was Murphy Levy Werman. You probably don't know those names, but when I graduated from school was the height of what was then known as the Philadelphia School. It was based upon the great architect Louis I. Kahn and his disciples, Romualdo Gergela, Robert Geddes, John Bauer, and two young upstart firms, Venturi and Rauch and Murphy Levy Werman. Now, I didn't quite appreciate all that. What I really appreciated and why I selected the firm I did is because they had beliefs that I shared. They thought that design and architecture were big words that encompassed more than just doing buildings, but had to do with educating young people, helping young people launch new careers, defining different ways in which the city might operate and the inhabitants of the city could find success and rewards. They started a book series to bring environmental education to grade schools. Another, they started a series on careers and career paths to inform high school students. Ricky Werman, who went on to found TED Talks, something you all might know about, was at the time experimenting with the redesigning of conferences and how we might exchange information as adults, all the while doing award-winning architecture. I made the choice to join this firm because of the shared set of beliefs and the value of learning, caring about the environment, and the hope of inspiration through design. These beliefs gave me entrance to a firm where trust was cultivated and ideas were cherished. That trust led to a community of sharing and ultimately to some mentorship. Al Levy and Ricky Warman provided advice and an interest in my success that extended way beyond my employment with them and until their death. What I'm trying to communicate to you is that Fortuna, the Fortuna that you seek, is created, is designed, and is not just the consequence of happenstance. If you are in a situation where the values and beliefs that you hold dear are synonymous with where you work, then you can easily be with, work with, and care for people who value and believe what you do. You can embrace the person at the workstation next to you and help them achieve their own greatness. Because by doing that, you demonstrate that you have the qualities of leadership. Because leaders care more about their colleague than themselves. And by assisting your colleague, you build a great and strong community that ultimately brings yourself the success and joy that you seek. And after all, isn't that really what Fortuna is? I want to thank you all, graduates, for what you've given me in the year that I've spent with you. You've taught me much, and I know that your professors have prepared you for what is in front of you. Your efforts, and when I combine them with the efforts of the students that I've interacted with for the past 40 years, your talents, creative energy, and beautiful efforts have helped me find my Minerva, Morpheus, and Fortuna. Thank you so much.
That's who we are. We're a school of great storytellers. Thank you for modeling that for us today. All right. I have a next exciting guest to introduce to you. I'm pleased to introduce our student speaker, Almas Heather. Almas is completing their Master of Architecture degree. Almas is a community organizer, architectural designer, and storyteller. For the past decade, Almas has supported the existence and just alignment of South Asian, queer, trans, and non-binary Muslim collectives in the movement for the liberation of Black, Indigenous, and people of color. They have worked most extensively in social justice campaigns related to immigrants, detention, deportation, and state surveillance. Almas, the floor is yours.
Good morning, graduates, faculty, and staff. Thank you for gifting me with the honor of reflecting at our winter reception. I told myself if I ever got up on this stage in this auditorium, I would absolutely have to do a word cloud. It's happened to all of us, and I want to give everyone, our family, the full experience of being in this building and in this auditorium. So I'm asking the graduates if you could please take out your phone, scan that QR code. One word, please describe your feeling about graduating. Yeah, like, sure, why not? We're all having feelings, right? And there are about 90 graduates this winter, right? And we may not have overlapped in our courses, but we certainly shared this building and the common experience of trying to locate something that we just never found. I never found any of the classrooms on the lower level here. Or the second floor computer room, which I don't know if it actually exists. That could be the library. Which is incredible because I know so many of us spent so much time in this building. The architecture students especially, we were leaving at 3 a.m. or coming back at 5 a.m. So we're still learning about boundaries. Oh, I love this. Pride, excitement. Yes, this feels so surreal. We lit. I love it. And I feel that too because we did this together. What got us through those late nights, exams, and sometimes incomplete histories and theories of design education, we helped each other fill in the gaps. We are in a profession that will require us to continue to support one another, learn from one another's backgrounds and realities, and to ultimately design a better world. From leading restorative justice and telling untold stories and histories, to creating new cultural institutions, rethinking our educational systems, affordable housing, and how we invest in our communities. So I challenge you to take the ethos of our building's great space with you. Stay in conversation with one another and transform together. Now I'd like to end with one other thing I told myself I would do if I ever had the platform here. That building on the right looks super familiar, right? It has a lot of those principles of modern architecture we've been taught about. The floaties, the facade, the windows. Queer designer Eileen Gray was a source and influence for modern architecture and for the text we have been taught to revere towards a new architecture. We've always been here. Give us the credit. Thank you.
So I love that. I loved it for a lot of reasons, but the thing that I love most is that you recognize the work of your classmates. And that's truly who you are and who you all are. It has been my pleasure for the last year and a half to walk through the studios, to walk through the classrooms, to go to celebrations, to go to competitions, and see the work that you've done. And you've done it together. So this year I got to do something really fun. One of the best jobs that I have is getting to visit with former students. You are now former students. So don't be surprised in the next year or 5 if I'm calling you up saying, hey, can I come visit? Sure, I'm there asking for money. There's no question. I'm going to ask you for money. I'm going to ask you for internships for our students. I'm going to ask you to come jury studios. I'm going to ask, right? And you're going to tell me how you'd like to participate in the school. You don't have to give me money, right? That's not where we start that conversation, but a lot of you are going to want to stay involved because you have really special memories here. Some of you have special memories like, oh, I want to come back so that never ever happens again, which is okay. And some of you want to come back because it was such a pleasurable, life-changing experience that you can't not come. Some of you are thinking, good grief, I just want to get the heck out of here, right? That said, this day is actually hard for us as faculty and staff. We're a little bit like your families, or at least your community, and it makes us a little sad to see you go. Because you've changed our lives too, every single day. The pleasure of my year was going to Italy with the first class of Golden Terps. Those are the Terps that graduated 50 years ago, which was the first class to inhabit this building. And so, you know, they were really interested in telling the stories of their all-night experience and all of the memories that they had. But what they were most interested in was you. Because when they were here, it was a school of architecture. There was no planning, preservation, real estate development PhD program. Interdisciplinary was cool, but there wasn't the opportunity to do it in the same way you did. There weren't dual degrees, there weren't the competitions that you participated in. And when I explained to them the experience you have now with study abroad, with the community-based research and projects that you do, they were hooked. They were so impressed by you. They were impressed by your composition. When they came to graduation last year, they said, wow, your students look a lot different than we did. The first class was almost all male, right? So this was a new experience for them. And someday you'll be coming back and saying, I hope, wow, look at the experience those students are having today. That was built on the backs of the effort we gave. It was built on the feedback that we gave, that you listened to, you made changes in response to. And we're so proud to be part of the University of Maryland community. Because you now are formally forever part of that community, and that is very special. I do recommend that you sign up to be a MAPP alum. There's a great, robust network of alums who get together, they do field trips together, they plan together, they party together, and they support each other through career transitions, job opportunities, mentoring, and so forth. So please join us in that way. And remember, we're always here. We're always here for a phone call, a text, an email, where you want to tell us something great that's happened in your personal, professional life. We love pictures of marriages, babies, moves, new jobs, anything, because it shows us that you have gone on to have this beautiful, extraordinary life. And we're proud to have been just a little tiny part of that. So today we celebrate you. If you want to come back again in May, we'll celebrate you again, like it's the first time in an amazing, joyful way. But today is your day. And so I invite the graduates to please rise and lead us to the great space so that we can have a party. Thank you. All right, family, please join us to celebrate graduation.